guys, how's everybody doing today? Are you guys doing good? We're doing great.
The top 10 best horror movies in honor of Halloween.
Halloween, spooky season. Let's go. Fairy month.
Comment down below. Tell us if you have a scary movie or if you don't mess with scary movies, because some people don't. He likes really like gory movies, and I'm totally fine with like literally everything besides clowns. So, okay, hit the like button, comment down below, and if you have not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button, and let's go.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down
you
our
saw
picks
Selena
for the
Gomez?
top 10 horror movies everyone needs
Most
to watch
people do.
once. For this list, we're looking at the most important horror films that anyone with even a passing interest in the genre must check out. If you like what you're hearing, be sure to check out the full song at the link below.
Yeah, leave it.
Okay, ready?
Number 10, Halloween.
Oh,
John
that's a
Carpenter's
classic.
seminal horror film
He
amazing
loves them.
dated when
Yeah, I love
compared to
Halloween
today's
movies.
more violent and blood-soaked
I watch it
slashers,
tonight.
but it is absolutely required viewing.
I met him 15 years ago. I was told there was nothing left. No reason, no conscience, no understanding, and even the most rudimentary sense of life or death, of good or evil, right or wrong.
Like all great slashers, the story is simple. A group of teenagers is stalked and systematically killed by the masked Michael Myers on Halloween night.
I might watch it tonight.
Myers is perhaps the most iconic slasher in movie history, and Jamie Lee Curtis makes her brilliant debut as young Laurie Strode. The movie does a lot with a little, generating scares out of...
Dude, that little girl, okay, if you guys watch Real Housewives of Beverly Hills like I do, it's the little girl that plays there.
That's her?
You're staring at the characters and various creepy music cues. You can ignore the numerous sequels, but you can't ignore the 1978 classic. Number 9, Alien. When it comes to space horror, it doesn't get much better than Alien.
What the hell is that? Jesus Christ.
Alien could have been made in the 21st century, such is the strength of its set design, performances, and practical effects. Absolutely nothing about this film has been dated, and it's just as effective today as it was in 1979. Like Halloween, the story is your basic slasher. An alien gets loose on a spaceship and hunts the crew.
This way you don't mess with stuff in space that you shouldn't have no business doing.
For real.
Tell our government that, shoot.
But Ridley Scott's assured direction prevents things from getting corny and cliche, and Sigourney Weaver's Ripley is one of the best protagonists in horror history. It is perhaps the greatest blending of science fiction and horror ever put to screen.
Girl, look behind you.
Number 8, the Texas
Yeah,
Chainsaw
that's my shoe.
isn't scary about a crazed lunatic chasing.
Not this one though. This one looks weak.
This is perhaps
the
one of
original.
the rawest
I don't
and
like
most
the original.
visceral films ever released, despite showing no on-screen blood or gore. Made for as little as $80,000, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre has the atmosphere of a snuff
Wow.
film. The
That looks
cheap,
weak.
low-budget aesthetic lends it a dirty and grimy feeling. Like maybe we're watching something we shouldn't be watching. It's just pure backwoods violence and depravity, and it will likely be too much for some viewers.
Now don't you cry, none. Grandpa's the best. It won't hurt a bit.
In fact, the film was highly controversial upon release, with many taking note of its sadistic violence and unsettling storyline. But it's now rightfully regarded as a masterpiece, and Leatherface remains one of horror's most terrifying.
Yeah, the original is horrible.
I was sexually abused
That's
as a
weak.
child. You're just antagonists.
Like
Number
girl,
7,
right?
Night of the Living Dead. George A. Romero.
The
created
remakes
or
are way better for our
popularized the
time.
zombie genre with
Because-
Night of the Living Dead.
Coming.
Back in like the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, they really didn't have a lot of gore in their videos, like, or in their movies, because it was like the suspense was enough. But no, now we need the gore, we need all of that. So the remakes in like real time, like the late 90s and early 2000s.
Halloween is the first one.
That was actually really good.
That one's good.
To get you, Barbara.
Trash.
Those looking for Dawn of the Dead style gore
Bruh.
need not apply, as this movie's violence is incredibly tame when compared to Romero's later works. But the movie's claustrophobic setting, black and white cinematography, and lack of cinematic flourishes lend it a degree of authenticity, as if we're watching an old home movie of the initial zombie outbreak.
Officials are quoted as explaining that since the brain of a ghoul has been activated by the radiation, the plan is kill the brain, and you kill the ghoul.
The movie also contains an intelligent racial undercurrent, with many seeing Ben as a symbol of domestic racism and an analog to topical figures like Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X.
Just wanted to crush them. They scattered through the air like bugs.
Number 6, Rosemary's Baby.
Bro, I don't even
Everyone knows the
watch
60s is a
movies.
time of great political and
The
cultural
remakes are
upheaval.
better.
And like Night of the Living Dead, Rosemary's Baby uses horror as a means to explore topical issues. In this case, the women's liberation movement.
Maybe all this is coincidence, but one thing is for sure, they have a coven and they want my baby.
On its surface, Rosemary's Baby is about a pregnant woman who believes that her Satanist neighbors are using her baby as a vessel for the Antichrist. It works wonderfully as a simple horror story, but it's mainly used for allegorical purposes. Rosemary feels progressively helpless throughout the story, unable to turn to anyone for help.
No, what's her name? Zoe Saldana, or the one that plays
And
Colombiana.
she is constantly placed at the whims of
She played
outside
Rosemary's Baby.
influences.
That was a good
The
one.
feeling of utter vulnerability the movie horrifically captures is scarier than any demon baby.
What have you done to it? What have you done to its eyes?
Number 5.
Oh nah, this is scary.
Exorcist
It's
is counted
not
by
scary.
many
Bro, I don't
as
mess with
the
this.
scariest film ever made.
Bro, this
But
is scary.
Don't let that distract you from the movie's genuinely fantastic execution.
I mean, I can watch it by myself, but
Power's mine.
It is certainly scary, but it's also an impeccably made movie in its own right. Everyone knows about Reagan's demonic possession, which obviously contributes most of the movie scares.
Amen.
But at
He's
its
a-
core, The Exorcist is a deeply personal tale about Father Damien Karras, a Jesuit priest suffering from a crisis of faith and harboring deep feelings of guilt in his mother's recent death. The movie is about finding God just as much as it's about fighting the devil. The former lends the movie its emotional heft. The latter, its iconic and allegedly heart attack-inducing frights.
I think the point is...
Back in the day, because now it's just laughable.
I think. Oh yeah.
It's laughable. Did she smack him?
So you think back in the day was scary?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Animal and ugly.
But all these movies always have like undertones for
The
problems.
possibility that God could
Like
have us.
the one
Number
with
4, The Shining. There have
Never saw
been
this.
many haunted
Jack
house
Nicholls
movies throughout the years,
is
but
hilarious.
The Shining is the greatest of them all.
Hi, Lloyd. A little slow tonight, isn't it?
Crazy. He looked young as heck.
Like many
he
movies
play
on
the
this
Joker?
list, The Shining uses its haunted hotel trappings to explore deeper and more personal themes. The core story involves the Torrance family moving into a haunted hotel over the winter. Of course, the performances and Stanley Kubrick's filmmaking are both transcendent, but the movie generates much of its scares from the personal.
Oh, I would have been out.
I would have been out. That's funny.
You just said I would have been out.
Come and play with us.
Exploring themes of alcoholism, child abuse, family dysfunction, and cabin fever, The Shining deftly combines its horrifying supernatural scares with a deeply troubling story of mental degradation.
Here's Johnny.
We don't know which aspect is scarier. Number 3, Bride of Frankenstein. This
Bruh.
is widely regarded as
1935,
director
I'm not
James
watching
Whale's
that.
masterpiece.
Leave it,
This
just
is the
leave
man
it.
who gave us classics like The Invisible
You keep
Man.
complaining about
Bro,
the shit on me.
bro, I'm talking to them.
Fucking-
It may shock you. It might even horrify you. So if any of you feel that you do not care to subject your nerves to such a strain, now is your chance to, reform you.
Improving on the first film in nearly every way, Bride of Frankenstein may just be the greatest sequel ever made. Boris Karloff returns in his iconic role, and this time he's joined by the classically hairdoed Elsa Lanchester as the bride. The movie is weird and campy, but it also just might be the greatest example of gothic horror ever put to film. It uses
Facts.
Christian imagery to comment on the monster's identity as a man-made abomination, deepening the themes of both the original film and Mary Shelley's source novel.
She's alive! Alive!
It is the perfect distillation of the Frankenstein
Cupcake Conquest. Wake it up.
mythos. Number 2, Jaws.
Ultimate!
Generally recognized
Wow,
as magical,
Jaws.
Wow.
fantastical,
You're not an
and
old school
whimsical. And And then
Love
there's
of
Jaws.
Beach is closed. No swimming. I order the Amity PD.
Despite its more grounded story of a man-eating shark plaguing the beaches of Amity Island, Jaws still retains Spielberg's dexterous directorial style. He manages to turn the movie into a cinematic tour de force, complete with thrilling camera work, proficient editing, horrific violence, and iconic musical cues from John Williams. There's also the timeless performances from Roy Scheider, Robert Shaw, and Richard Dreyfuss, who help make the action-packed third act just as fun and dramatic as it is terrifying.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Jaws birthed the summer blockbuster, kept people out of the ocean, and permanently altered our perception of sharks. It's pure movie magic.
Fire, you son of a...
I have seen the majority of the movies on this list, and I can agree, everyone interested in
Get
horror
Out.
needs to see them at least once.
Get Out's good.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are some honorable mentions. Get Out, a nail-biting blend of thriller
Yep.
and horror, Jordan Peele's directorial debut is scary and topical.
This bitch is crazy.
I'm gonna watch that.
Bitch is crazy.
The Silence of the Lambs, and the
That's
Hobbit
good.
Lecter will never not be scary.
The census
I hate that they changed her though.
Yeah.
I ate his liver with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Rabid, a terrifying body horror zombie film from director David Cronenberg, the master of the genre.
For heaven's sake, what happened to you?
I can't remember anything.
Carrie, Stephen King's
That's
exploration
good.
of bullying remains relevant and horrifying.
Does she have powers?
Yeah, she doesn't know she can move stuff with her mind. And she thinks it's demonic because her mom's like super Christian.
Oh, I'm not watching that.
Scream, Wes Craven's meta-nod to the slasher genre perfectly merges horror with comedy.
Sorry.
Oh my god, Randy, I thought
That's
you were
alright,
dead.
dude.
I probably should be. I never thought I'd be so happy to be a virgin.
Before we
Damn.
continue, be sure to
Fuck that
subscribe
nigga.
to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the
Alright,
option to
cool.
be
That's not it. Didn't go to #1 yet, honey.
Yes, it is.
notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone,
I
make sure
told
you
you.
go into your settings
leave it.
and switch
It's-
on
What was number one?
notifications.
I don't know. It's 13 minutes though.
Number 1, Psycho.
Thank
Psycho
you.
has lost something
Bro, we not-
in pop culture consciousness. The numerous twists are all well known, so new viewers might not have the same experience as audiences who went in blind back in 1960.
Yes, Mr. Lowry.
Carolyn? Ryan still isn't in?
No, Mr. Lowry, but then she's always a bit late on Monday mornings.
Buzz me the minute she comes in. Call her sister. No one's answering at the house.
But our knowledge of the twists doesn't make Psycho any less interesting.
Alright, y'all. That was the end of those. I only liked it in one video. I mean, two. I don't mention The Silence of the Lamb and Halloween. Those are the only two I like.
Well, they're trying to say like the classics are what you need to watch, but in reality, for millennials or Generation Z, which is me, you're millennial, then the newer makes are way better than the old ones. But don't get me wrong, I love some old black and white movies, but
Like
some
what?
of them- what do you mean?
Name some. Alright. She's answered it.
No, I used to watch them with my grandpa. Hold on, I'm trying to think. Oh, shows like Lucy, I Am Lucy and stuff like that. I love those kind of shows.
Nah, those I just can't watch. Those are like boring. Like not the shows. I'm saying like the old movies. I
Yeah,
can't,
the black and white, you can't watch it.
like I can't, bruh. But anyways, I want y'all to comment down you guys' favorite Halloween movies down below. Thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure you subscribe, become part of Rain Nation.
Hit that like button.
New,
Hit it.
new reaction videos every day. We still have another one tomorrow. We're gonna do the next day we're gonna do because we forgot to. Somebody requested a video to do, so we're gonna do that one for them. And with that being said, we're out.
And we're out.